You know, we're often asked, what's the total cost of medical education? What's it going to cost me to repay this debt? And when I get that question, Jay, my immediate response is, well, it's up to you. But I'm hoping you can show me some numbers or show us some numbers that show how it really is up to the borrower on what the total cost is going to be.
Sure. All the different repayment choices usually lead to a different repayment amount. So let's walk through some of these. First is forbearance and then a standard 10-year repayment. That's a repayment plan where there's no payments during residency and then 10-year payment afterwards. So at the end of the day, Dr. Median, who borrowed $170,000, would repay about $317,000. And we're working through a bunch of primary care examples here to keep it apples to apples. Now the next point is a forbearance and an extended. So just like the first one, there's no payments during residency and it's 25 years worth of payments. Now because you're taking longer to repay, there's a smaller monthly amount, but at the end of the day, you're going to repay over $470,000. Now here's a plan, forbearance during residency and pay-as-you-earn after residency. So pay-as-you-earn is the repayment plan that came about in December of 2012, and it ties your payment to your income, not your debt level. And so for Dr. Median, that would increase gradually throughout a 19-year period, and she would repay about $435,000.
So on that note, Jay, pay-as-you-earn has a 20-year forgiveness, but you're saying she goes 19 years. Does she reach any sort of forgiveness under pay-as-you-earn?
It was close, but it didn't work out for this scenario. It was 19 years and a couple of months. All right. So if Dr. Median wanted to repay her loans starting during residency, IBR would be an option, income-based repayment. And again, your payment is tied to your income, and so it's between $420, $500 a month. And then after residency, you would pay about $2,200 a month. And so at the end of the 15 years, it's about $327,000 repaid. Now, pay-as-you-earn is a similar option to IBR. You make payments during residency. It's just the formula works out to a smaller amount. So it's a smaller amount during residency, a smaller amount after residency. And in this case, at the end of the 20 years, even though she's repaid $378, there's still some left to be forgiven.
Yeah, I see that there. You know, the interesting thing I find about those numbers as they're thrown side by side is that while a graduate is entering these plans, either IBR or pay-as-you-earn, they all want to go into pay-as-you-earn because the monthly payments are lower. So obviously that's a nice feature. But if you are in pay-as-you-earn and you let pay-as-you-earn go as long as it can cost you more than IBR because the IBR plan got paid off, the debt got paid off in a shorter amount of time. So is it fair to say, and you know I like to say this, so I'm just going to say it again, the longer it takes you to pay, the more it's going to cost you.
Absolutely.
And that's a good example, right?
That's an excellent example. Let's talk about a repayment program that involves some service, the National Health Service Corps. That's a plan available for primary care doctors. They make a 2-year commitment to serve in a health profession shortage area. And so they would get for that 2 years of service about $60,000. If they took that $60,000 and applied it to their loans, it would reduce the amount of time they have to repay. So in this case, we're looking at what was an extended repayment of 25 years. It's now dropped down to 14 years. So just that 2 years of service knocked about 10 years of payments off on the loans. And at the end of the day, she'd only have paid $262,000.
Very attractive. Other forgiveness programs?
So a couple of other forgiveness programs. Public service loan forgiveness, it has 2 angles, right? You can do IBR or you can do pay-as-you-earn. Both of them tie your payments to your income, so you're paying during residency and after residency. And then at the 10-year period, whatever you've repaid is forgiven, and we can see the amounts here.
Well, Jay, thank you for these numbers, and I think it really goes to prove that no matter what area or way you choose to address your debt, you are ultimately in charge of how much this costs you.
So if you want to know more about some of these numbers and some of these different scenarios and how they would apply to you in your own portfolio, we encourage you to use our calculator. It's available on our website, and it will show you all of these numbers and more.